Welcome TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn what is Lake database, aka Spark database in Azure Synapse Analytics. So here is a definition. A Lake database in Azure Synapse is a metadata defined schema built on Apache Spark pools. It stores no data itself, but reference data in Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. It is created and managed using Spark SQL or PySpark and operates on file-based storage formats like Parquet, CSV, and Delta. So we understand from here this only the metadata information is saved, and then actual data is saved in the data lake storage in the format such as CSV, Parquet, and Delta. This is going to be more clear when we are going to create all those different lake databases, and then also create the tables and query them. So let's go ahead and take a look from here. Now there are some key concepts we need to understand. So file-based, not row-based. Tables are logical pointers to the files and not containers for the rows like a SQL. So we need to understand when we create a table here in the Lake database, it's just going to be metadata about that table, like, hey, here's my definition for columns and all that. But actual data will be sitting in the Azure Data Lake Gen 2, and that will be sitting in CSV, Parquet, or Delta files. So we will see how exactly that looks like in the folder structure. Metadata driven tables store only schema definitions, so that I just explained above. Data lives in the ADLS Gen 2. Actual data exists in CSV, Parquet, or Delta files inside the folders. Schema on read. Data is interpreted during the read time based on the schema definition. So when we create those tables and when we are going to write select the data, that's where it's going to read all that schema and go ahead and read the data from the underlying files. So there are different ways that we can go ahead and create the lake database. So first of all, let's think if you are in this main page, then you're going to go to the data, and here you're going to go to the workspace. One way to create a quick lake database is go on this plus sign and say lake database. Once you do that, it's going to give you the option. So in this case, I'm going to call this one test DB1, and now you can tell which is the location for this link service, and which is the folder, and which type of the data format you will be saving, such as CSV or Parquet here. Now this, if I take you back to the linked here, this is exactly link service you are seeing here. If you have more than one, you have created those link services to different ADLS Gen 2, then you will be seeing them right here, and then you can select the folder the way you want. In my case, I have only one ADLS Gen 2, and that I have attached to it when I was creating the workspace. So here is my container, and this container has different folders inside here. So that's when I put it right here, it is telling me, hey, you want to use this link service? Yes, because I have only one, and then this is my container name, and this is the database name that we just selected, test DB. Now we can edit if we want. We can give whatever we want. Instead of giving this one, we can change to another one, and then also change the data format. In my case, I'm fine. I'm just going to give you the example. Now you see right there, if you go to workspace, you're going to see right there it's not published. So if I close this, it's not going to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Once I publish, it is going to deploy this database. Now as of now, you can see that I have test DB created here, but and we know from our definition, we see right there, like, hey, guess what, when you create this database or tables and all that, metadata information stays here. Yes, we can see the test, but the actual data goes in the folder. So as of now, if I go right here in the container, and then under the container, I should be going to the Synapse. So under the Synapse, I will go to workspace. Under the workspace, I go right here, and then I go to the warehouse. So I'm not seeing any folder created for this test DB1. Now once I create the database, database is available here. It is showing me also the tables here, the tab, but no table is there. So once we create the table and insert the data, that's where actually the files get there. So we'll see in the next steps. One way I showed you, you go here and create the lake database. Another way is you can open a notebook, and to open the notebook you can go to develop and then go to the plus sign here and say new notebook. Once you are in a new notebook, you will select your Apache Spark pool, and then select the language of your choice. So you can select PySpark SQL or PySpark, or or just Spark, whatever language you are comfortable. You can write all those code here. In my case, what I have done here, I have this pool here, and then I use a PySpark. But inside that, I'm using a different language such as SQL to show you how you can use different language in each of the cell. So here I'm using Spark, and you can see that spark.sql, and then inside that I'm providing this code that create database if not exist lake db demo, and that's I'm going to go ahead and run this one. Once I execute this one, it's going to create our database here, and that will be called the lake db demo. So see right there, still again there is no folder or anything created under the hood because it's just a database container right here is available. But we can see that we have tables and views. As of now we don't have any table or we don't have any view. No problem. Also, you can go simply right there and create a new cell by adding a new code here, and then write your SQL command by saying percentage SQL, and then say straightforward SQL command create database, whatever the database you want to give them. Let's run this statement as well. This create a logical database pointing to the folder in ADLS Gen 2. So that's true. And if I go back here and review and refresh, I'm going to see this Tech Brothers Lake DB as well. That's great. Now we are going to go ahead and create some table. In this case, I'm creating a table called demo. Lake DB demo. That's my database. Here, and then I'm creating a table called employee, and I'm using a CSV format. So I'm creating this table, but all the data will be saved in CSV format under this folders. So I will show you once we will create this table. It has a simple create table definition, and what happened here, extra input right there. Okay, so let me see where exactly I'm missing. Okay, there was an extra parenthesis that was creating problem, so I have removed it. So we have this create definition, and then a create table here, and that's close it using CSV, and then this is just the hard code value, 3 double quotes here and 3 double quotes here to use the SQL in Spark. So that's how you will write your code. So if you are using Spark here, then you will be using spark.sql, then 3 double quotes here, and then actual SQL goes in. So this is a way to run your SQL inside the Spark here. But again, I'm gonna not be using this in the Spark. It's more easy to use Spark SQL directly. So I'm gonna use in the next kind of cells to show you, but I just wanted to show you if you are using Spark how you will write your code. Okay, now this table is created. If I will go to the Lake DB demo, and here if I will go table and employees table is created. If I go back here, and if you notice here, if I go to the warehouse, now I have seen the folder once I created this table. If I click here, employee folder is created, and right now there is no files there, and I have told that this is going to be using a CSV. Now table schema is defined here, but the actual data will reside in the files under the specified folder. So you guys have seen that how exactly it works. Now when we are going to go ahead and insert the data, I'm using again Spark here, and then I'm putting my inserts here. You can see right there, once we execute this query, it's going to write the data to the table. Each insert create a new file in the target folder, highlighting the tight file to record relationship. So that's if I go back here, and now if I refresh, you will be seeing a CSV file. So you can see right there CSV file, and if I open it, then you will be seeing the records here, and you can see that there is one record. Okay, great. Now we see that how this will create the table, how we will insert, and then we would like to extract the data. In this case, I'm using percentage Spark, and then spark.sql. Inside, I'm just providing select query, and that will show us the results. Now I'm going to go ahead and execute, and then we are going to see the results. This reads data from the underlying CSV and using the schema on the read. So you can see that it has read all the records from CSV files which are sitting right there in this employee folder. And this we use actually the table. We set a select star from this Lake DB demo and data table name employee. This is one of the way we were using the data. Now let's see if I want to perform an update statement. So update this table is going to give me error because this does not support the update and delete. Update destination only supported in Delta sources. So if we create a Delta table, then it will support the update and delete. I will show you in the next example how to create Delta tables. You will see an error because update delete operations are not supported in Spark table version 1. In the version 2 we have Delta tables that has transactions, and that's where we will be able to perform update and delete. I will show you more details in next year. So here I'm creating a Delta table. So this percentage Spark will stay as is. But if you want to remove this, that's fine. You can always change this. Let's say if I want to be like percentage SQL. Now in this case I want to use a SQL here, and then I don't need this part, and you don't need this part either. So we will have right there. Also I can simply go here and say Spark SQL, then I don't even have to write that percentage SQL in this case. Now in the next cells I have mostly that, so I just wanted to show you in different cells you can use PySpark or you can use Spark SQL, so your choice. So here I'm going to go straight forward with the Spark SQL I selected from top. Okay, let's execute that, and we are creating a Delta table in this database called Lake DB demo, and table name is Delta employee. So now it is going to create a Delta table. If I go to the folder here, and under this database I can see Delta employee folder is created and underscore Delta log folder is created. So that's actually make this table as asset property holder, because we can perform all those transactions such as update and delete and inserts on this one, and all the transaction will go in this folder, and then data will go into the Parquet files. So I'm going to show you once I insert the data. So here what I'm doing, I'm inserting the record into this Delta employee, and let me insert the data, and now you will see a Parquet file will be created, and here let's go ahead and refresh. And once we refresh, you see that the Parquet files are created. So if I go here, I can see the data in this files, but not really readable. Some of them is. Now if I go back and say Delta logs, you will see the JSON files created. Now in the JSON you can see the transactions. So if you see right there, it is telling me, you know, all those when I created the table and everything. And here if I will go further in this JSON and take a look here, it is telling me the record I have inserted. So you can see that ID1 and all that. So this keep all the transactions for us in this formatted in the JSON files in the underscore Delta log, and the actual data is sitting in Parquet file. So that's make it Delta table, because if you want to make updates, it will keep those records in those logs. Now if we want to read the data, we can simply write the select query, and we say select star from Lake DB demo Delta employee, and that's what it is going to do. It is going to read the files from this folder, and then give us the output. So it is reading from here. Now that's great, we have the records, and remember we can perform update and delete on the Delta tables, and here I'm performing update. So I'm saying update Lake DB Delta employee, and set name is equal to Amir Shahzad instead of just Amir, and where ID is equal to 1. And you can see right there is Amir for the name ID1. I'm going to go ahead and execute this one, and then you will see that it is updated to the Amir Shahzad. This has completed, and now let's run the select again, and we should be good to see the output that has been updated. We can see that this is updated now. If I go back here and I go to the let me refresh this, you will see this is a different Parquet now created after update. And also if I go to Delta log, I will go to the last JSON and see right here, and then we will be able to see what changes are done. So you can see right here for ID1 the value for the name is Amir Shahzad. So that's where all the transaction information, whatever the changes you are making, is going to go and saved. This is very powerful, when we need to perform update, delete on some table, and those are delta tables in the Lake database. Now, if I go further and let me clear this output here, and if I want to create the table, but under the hood I want to use a Parquet file instead of using CSV file. So I can use that. So I will say create table, if not exists, Lake DB demo, employee Parquet, and then say ID, name, department. These are columns, and saying using a Parquet. So if I create this one, it's going to create a new folder called the employee Parquet. And let me take you here under this database, and then I show you right there employee Parquet folder is created. Now let me take you back here, and what's going to happen, I'm going to insert some record in this employee Parquet table. So once I insert, it's going to be creating the files here, and that data will be saved here as files. So you can see right there, there are 2 files created. Now if I go back, and if you see this carefully, you are not seeing any folder say underscore delta log, because that is only for the delta table. This is for just a Parquet format. So for the CSV, we don't have that as well. So see, these are just simple CSV files, and these are just simple Parquet files. There is no underscore delta underscore log. That's why there is an update and inserts are not supported for CSV and Parquet, but only supported for delta, because there is a delta log that keeps the transaction log. Now let me take you back here, and now we can go ahead and query this table that's called employee Parquet. So database dot table name, and here it is. If we can go refresh here, so this table is created right there, and we can see the data right here. Now if I try to make update or delete or anything with this Parquet format table, what's going to happen is going to throw me error. Hey, tell me, hey, guess what, it's not only supported in delta sources. So that's why I cannot make any update. Now let's take a look on the summary here. Lake database is equal to schema plus storage folder link. So we have seen that we have this schema, we have tables and all that here, but this is not saving the data under the hood. The actual data is saved in the your storage, and then when we create those, we already know that when we created this database here, it asks me, hey, which link where you want to save that, and by default we know that if we don't provide this, this goes to our folder container, and then go to the right here. So if I don't provide this, my main container, and then it goes to Synapse, it go to workspaces, it go to my workspace name, whatever, this is my name of the workspace, then go to warehouse, and there it create the database. So when I don't provide this path from here, okay. Tables reference files, not rows, external tables. So we see that these are the references to the files. When we create these tables, they are referencing to these different files in these different folders we are telling. Now for external tables, those are let's say if we have external table, let's think about a file sitting in container, and in that container we can always go right there and right click here and create external table. This external table that we will create, this will be our pointer to that file, and then what we can do, we can drop that link anytime, but the file will stay as is. So but here if I will drop the table, it will also drop the folder. Now let me take you back here and say each we are going to have another video on many tables. These are called many tables, what we have created from here, and then we will be also creating the external tables, and then I will show you how to check that and how to drop them. But the external table drop will be just dropping the link that we have created between the file and here, but in the actual drop in, the many table will drop the table from here, and also it will delete the folder under the hood what we have in the storage. Now each insert create a new file. No support for update delete in Spark table 1v1, and we know that if we create CSV or Parquet, there would be no delete or update. This is a delete and update is only supported in Delta. and ideal for a big data analytics, not for OLTP. So this is I think is a very long video already, and I thank you very much, and I will put this in the description and you can take from there, and I will see you guys in the next video.